in my last video on Advanced Chord series, I talked about how to build your extended chords. And so in this video, I will continue with the series, and I'm talking about how to build your altered extended chords. Now, for you to be able to play your extended chords or altered extended chords, you need to know your intervals very well. So I want to encourage you to check out the last video on extended chords, and of course, I explained the intervals there. Okay, but in this video, I'm going to explain it briefly before I go to the altered extended chords. And please, I want to encourage you, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe, because if you're interested in playing gospel piano, I promise you there's something you must learn from this channel. So for you to get notified anytime I post videos, I would like you to subscribe, click the notification bell, and also give me a thumbs up. So thank you. All right, so I'll just run through the intervals very briefly. All right, so we're in the key of C. Now from C to D is an interval of a major second. From C to E is an interval of a major third. C to F, perfect fourth. C to G, perfect fifth. C to A, major sixth. C to B, major seventh. C to C, an octave. So now, from anything beyond an octave is extended interval, right? So let's go there. From C to D is an interval of a ninth. Well, of course, we know that C to D is also the same thing as interval of a major second. You know, it's also good you understand it with using the diatonic interval, so that you can easily know where these notes are. These intervals are. So from C to D, ninth. From C to E, 10th. C to F, 11th. C to G, 12th. C to A, 13th. So it stops here. So of course, you know, when you're playing extended chords, you don't need your 10th, because your 10th is the same thing as your third. You know, it's already in the triad. You don't need it. So it's not necessary. So you don't have your 10th chord, right? But you have your 9th chord, because the 9th chord is not in the interval, in the diatonic chord. Now, you need your 11th. Your 11th is not here. You don't need your 12th, because your 12th is already here. You need your 13th. Your 13th is an extended chord, is an extended interval. All right, so you don't need, and then you don't need your there's only like 14th, but you don't need this chord, because this chord is also supposed to be in your extended chord. You know, for you to begin to build extended chord or altered extended chord, you must have your 7th in that chord. So you must have a 7th before you add your extended interval. So with this, you call this C9, right? Adding your 11th is C11. Or you can also decide to play the C11 without the 9th. So adding this note, 13th interval, or which is the same thing as the 6th interval within an octave, so you just add it, you have your C13. You can try to play your 13th chord without the 11th. Most times it's played without the 11th. And sometimes you can try to play it even without the 9th. But I would prefer that you have your 9th, the 9th on your 13th chord. So these are the extended chords I explained in the last video. Right? So now, alter the extended chords. Simple, just alter these extended chords that you have. So you have your 7th note. I told you must build your extended chords or alter the extended chords on your 7th chord. All right? So this is your 9th. So if you lower this 9th by a half step, you have your flat 9. So this is an altered extended chord. So we are altering this extended chord by lowering the notes by a half step. So this is your flat 9. This is an altered extended chord. So the next one, dominant 7 chord. You know, it can either be a dominant 7 chord or a 7th chord, or a major 7th chord. But let there be a 7th chord before you build your extended chords. All right, so that's one. The second one is still 9th. On the 9th, you increase it, raise it by a half step, and you have your sharp 9. So this is another altered extended chord. So let's move on. Let's go to the next chord, extended chord. We have 10th, which is not relevant. F here. So this is your 11th, right? So raise it by a half step, we give you sharp 11. So this is another altered extended chord. Now, if you lower it by a half step, there is not like flat 11, because this note is still the third, and the third is already represented here in your 7th chord. So there's no flat 11. So let's move on. This 10th, we don't use the 10th because it's the same thing as, the 12th. We don't use it because it's the same thing as the 5th, which is already represented here. So we go to the 13th. Now this is the 13th chord, right? So I think I should add my 9th and 11th, 13th. Most times I play my 13th chord without the 11th. So lowering the 13th note by half step gives you a 13th chord. I like to add my 9th. But when you lower the 13th note by half step, it gives you a 13th chord. If you raise it by half step from the 13th, raise it by half step, there is nothing like sharp 13. And the reason is because this note is already represented. So this note is already is the 7th. And you know the 7th chord should be in your extended chord or your altered extended chord. So this note is already taken. It has been accounted for. So you don't have sharp 13, right? So basically we have 4 types of altered extended chords, which is on the flat 9, sharp 9, sharp 11, flat 13. So those are the 4. Of course, you must have heard of sharp 5, flat 5. Sharp 5 is the same thing as, or let's say flat 5 is the same thing as the sharp 11. This is a 5, right? It's the same as sharp 11. You call it flat 5 because when you see a chord that is called flat 5, it's because there is no fifths in the chord. So you call it flat 5. Because, the fifth is supposed to be represented. So since it's not accounted for, this sharp 11 is called flat 5. But when you have your fifth, it's called sharp 11. So it's basically the same thing. The flat 5 and the sharp 11 is the same chord. So you also hear of sharp 5. Sharp 5 will be the same thing as a flat 13. The difference is that it's sharp 5 because there is no fifth. So for the fifth to be accounted for, we need to turn this fifth to a sharp fifth. So that's what we call sharp 5, which is the same thing as the flat 13 chord. All right, so there's still basically 4, which is the flat 9, sharp 9, sharp 11, flat 13, right? So those are the advanced chords. Altered extended chords are basically used when you are playing passing chords or when you are improvising. So I'm going to show you a few examples on how you can use your altered extended chords as passing chords. All right, so let's do that in the key of C. So the first altered extended chord I'm going to use is called the flat 9 chord. So the dominant 7, flat 9, right? Dominant 7, flat 9. So I'm going to play, and I like to use this chord, especially when I'm going to a minor chord. Okay, let me show you how you can build it. Minor 7, that's the dominant 7, flat 9, right? So let's say in the key of C, this will be C dominant 7. Then this is a flat, this is a 9, lowered by a half step. So this is a chord I'm talking about, dominant 7, flat 9. I like to use it when I'm going to my minor chord. And the reason is because of the diminished flavor in this chord. Now, if you remove the roots, you discover that this is a fully diminished 7 chord. So the easy way to build this chord is just take your roots, go to the octave lowered by a whole step, and build a fully diminished chord there. And you have your C flat 9, right? So because of this diminished flavor, I like to use it as a passing going to the minor chord. Now I'm going to use it as a secondary dominant passing going to the minor chord. So let me use a simple song. Let me just play the song briefly. I just wanna say Baba o Eshe. I just wanna say Baba o Eshe. So this is a chord. This is the song, right? And I have 2 minor chords in this song. Minor chord on the 6th degree. That's on the 6th chord, and then the 2 chord. So let me play it again using the flat 9 chord as a passing going to these minor chords. Now, the name of this type of passing chord is called secondary dominant passing, right? So let me do that again. Secondary dominant passing simply means playing the 5 chord, or playing the 5 of the destination chord. Yeah, playing the 5 chord of the destination chord. I hope you understand. Okay, so let me sing again. I just wanna say Baba o Eshe. I just wanna say, Baba oh, Eshe. Now you see what I did there. When I was going to the 6th chord, like I just wanna say, Baba oh, Eshe. Now you see, from the 1 chord to the 6th chord. So I just used the she. You see, the flat 9 chord before going to my 6. Now you might ask, why did I use the E flat 9 chord? E7 flat 9. The reason is because the E is the secondary dominant passing to A. I told you secondary dominant is the 5th chord of the destination chord. So the destination chord is the A. So if you go, what's the 5th degree in the key of A minor? La ti do re mi 1 2 3 4 5. This is E. So what you do, just build your secondary dominant chord, your flat 9 chord. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. This. So it's simple. Just play your roots, go octave lower it by a whole step, and build your fully diminished 7 chord, and you have your flat 9 chord. So I'm using it as a passing going to the 6. Da 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 she, then A. Then there's another minor chord on the 2 here. So what's the 5 chord in the key of D minor? 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Is an A, right? So I build my flat 9 chord on the A before going to the 2. You see? She. Then I just wanna say, Baba oh, Eshe. So that's the first example. The next chord I'm going to show you is a sharp 11 chord. So the dominant 7 9 sharp 11. So I'm going to play a 2-5-1 passing, and on the 5 chord I'll use a sharp 11 chord. So let me use the same song. I just wanna say, Baba oh, Eshe. I just wanna say, Baba oh, Eshe. Then you go like this. I just wanna say, see, Baba oh, Eshe. I just wanna say, Baba. So you see what I just did there? When I wanted to play the song again, then I go 2, then 5, then 1 on the key of F. So the 5 chord is the 5 chord in the 2-5-1 going to the F is what is my sharp 11 chord with a 9 there. So they have the roots here, the 5th, the 7th. The 9 is here, the sharp 11, the dominant 7, and then the 3. Right? So this is my chord, my sharp 11 chord. The last chord I'm going to show you today is the sharp 9 flat 13 chord. So I'm going to play another 2-5-1 passing. So on the 5 chord, I'll use the sharp 9 flat 13 chord. So let me show you. I'll play on a different key, the key of F, and then a different song. So let me play the song. Awesome God, how great thou art. You are God, mighty are your miracles. We're standing in awe of your holy name. Lord, we bow and worship you. So that song, let me play it again, and then I'll play the sharp 9 flat 13 chord. So I'm doing a 2-5-1 passing to the 4 chord, and on the 5 chord, I'm going to use my sharp 9 flat 13 chord. So let me show you. Awesome God, how great thou art. Then you are God. Did you see that? Mighty are your miracles. We're standing on. So what I just did there, on the 5 chord, I said, awesome God, how great thou art. Now the next chord is a 4 chord. So I did my 2, 5. Then the 1, which is the B flat. All right? So the 2, and then the 5, This is a 5. This is my sharp 9 flat 13 chord, right? So so this is the root F. My F is F, sharp 9 flat 13 chord. So the notes are this. This is a root. This is a 5, the 7, the sharp 9, the flat 13, and then this is the third. So then 4. Mighty are your miracles, will stand in awe of your holy name. Lord, we bow and worship you. So those are a few examples I have for you on how to use your altered extended chords while playing your passing chords. So altered extended chords basically is, like I told you, for passing chords and for improvisation, right? So I'd like you to know that in playing altered extended chords, it's not what you just copy. Maybe you just copy my voicing and then apply it to all the songs you play. No, that's not the way to apply altered extended chords. Altered extended chords should be applied to individual songs. The voicing should not be always the same. You see, because when you are voicing, two things to note is that you have to voice putting the melody at the top or the counter melody. You know, altered extended chord has to do with a lot of non-diatonic notes inside. So you have to know how to voice it, or else the song, you might ruin your song, right? So voicing it, one of the things that should be at the back of your mind is that the melody should be at the top or the counter melody. And playing altered extended chords is not just what you learn and you start playing. You have to take songs and experiment on these different songs. See how it works on this song and how it works on the other song. You know how this particular voicing works on this song and the particular voicing on another song. So you need to be conscious on the voicing of your altered extended chords. So you don't put the non-diatonic notes at the top. You know, it might end up spoiling the song. So just take note of that. All right, so that will be the end of this video. I'd like to hear you. Please leave a comment at the comment section. I'd like to hear what you think about this video. You know, it helps me to do a better video for you. All right, so please subscribe if you have not subscribed, and click the notification bell, and also give me a thumbs up. It's very important you subscribe, because if you are interested in learning the piano, especially gospel piano, then I will assure you that there's something you can pick. You know, you can learn from this channel. So why not subscribe and learn something extra? Thank you so much. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.